I just knew I was gonna love this. It drives so much nicer compared to the old brushed version. It's been a while since I've done anything FMS on my channel, and today we're taking a look at these brand new from FMS. Their new K5 Blazer Brushless and the Power Wagon Brushless as well. Both of these trucks look incredibly cool. We've got a lot to get through, so let's make a start. First, we're gonna take a closer look at the K5 Blazer. I think you could tell from the intro there that I've already got a bit of a soft spot for these. I mean, come on, they do look incredible. I'm loving the matte black body on the K5 Blazer, but the metallic green on the Power Wagon does look fantastic as well. I mean, if you were going to buy one of these two and you had to pick one, I think it would be a difficult choice. We will get back to the running footage shortly, but first we need to take a closer look at both of these. We'll start with the K5 Blazer first of all. We'll take a closer look at that, and then we'll get to the Power Wagon. So this thing looks incredible. Now I really like the fact that they've gone for that matte black colour scheme. I have featured the brushed version on my channel before, and that had like a glossy paint on it. I think this one just looks that little bit better. I also quite like that this one doesn't have as much chrome on it. So of course this does have some scale details, including a plastic front bumper, wing mirrors on the side, and of course a plastic bumper on the rear as well. Now when it comes to the tyres, everything feels really nice there, nice soft compound, and I think they're exactly the same as the ones they used on the brushed version. Every angle you look at this truck from, it just looks so good. So let's get the body off and take a closer look underneath. Now it's really simple to get the bodies off of these. You've just got a couple of tabs that you need to press, and then it should just lift off. And yeah, it is pretty simple to get that off. Let's unplug the LED lights. So underneath the body, the first thing you notice is this has a brushless power system compared to the old one, which of course was brushed. Up at the front, you now get a 2 to 3S capable brushless ESC. Down there, we have the tiny little brushless outrunner motor that is 3200 kV. So of course, this still has a 2-speed transmission. And there we have the servo, which switches from low gear to high gear. So another upgrade on this compared to the old brushed version. This thing has metal-bodied oil-filled adjustable shocks, and they do feel really good. I think they are some of the best oil-filled shocks I've come across on a mini truck like this. FMS are doing great things at the moment. They're starting to understand what we want, and they're definitely delivering, because that feels really good. Now on the previous version, the brushed version, it did bounce around a little bit on rough terrain, but it actually looked quite realistic and quite good. So I wonder how this one is going to look now that it's got a proper set of shocks on it. I think it's going to drive completely different. Now this has metal steering links on the front. This does have a 4-link suspension setup, and the links on the bottom here are made out of metal. It looks like the drive shafts are still made out of plastic, but that's okay because this thing isn't going to be mega crazy powerful. And then of course this does also have pull-to axles, so FMS have made some upgrades in the right places. And this isn't actually a lot more expensive than the brushed version. Yeah, I think FMS may be onto a winner with this one. In the box here we have the 4-channel FMS transmitter. Now we've come across this before. These are actually really nice, very well built. Of course you've got your usual steering trim, steering dual rate, and throttle trim adjustments up on top. You don't get a foam grip on the wheel with this one, but you don't really need it because it actually feels really nice. Battery wise, you get a tiny little 380 mAh 2S. These aren't too bad. I got decent runtime with the brushed version. Brushless systems are even more efficient, so we should get even more runtime. Also in the box you get some optional accessories. Of course a black and white manual. In this bag you've got some basic tools, a USB charger, there's some stickers in there, and there's also some shock preload spacers. Pretty much the standard stuff we always see with FMS kits. Just look at how smooth this is. I've got the throttle trim turned up slightly. Look how smooth this thing is. At this kind of speed, it's barely moving. How cool is that? So of course this does have 2 gears. You've got the low gear and the high gear. Let's take a look at the low gear first. Yeah, it's not too bad. Let's switch to high gear. That's pretty cool, and that's going to be pretty quick, I think, when we get it out off-road. So let's try switching on the headlights and see what they look like. Now to do that we need to hold down channel 4 on the transmitter. There you go. They look really cool actually. I quite like the yellow kind of tint that they have, and the yellow against that matte black I think looks really nice. So what about the steering servo? Let's see how quick that is. And yeah, that is pretty quick. No complaints there. So it's time to test out this gorgeous looking K5 Blazer Brushless. Let's see how fast it is on the low gear. And of course, not very fast, which is exactly what you would expect on a little crawler like this. But what you are getting is really good low speed control. I mean, just take a look at this once more. How cool does that look? It's so quiet, so controlled. FMS have done a fantastic job with the electronic setup on these. How cool is that? Let's switch this over to high speed and see how fast it is. Now remember, this thing can handle 3S. This is the included 2S. And actually that is pretty quick. That's more than enough to get you around your favourite trails or your favourite crawler course. Now I'm not doing anything crazy with this today. We're just testing it out on some semi-rough terrain and some pretty big rocks actually, considering this thing's 1/24th scale. If you want to do some serious rock crawling, I would say go for something larger. But this thing can still handle it. Just look at the flex there. Incredibly cool. And how cool does it look? I know I keep saying it, but it really does look incredibly cool, incredibly realistic, which is exactly what you want from a scale trail truck. Very, very nice. Look at that. Incredible. I do love what FMS are doing at the moment. They've got some really cool stuff on the way, including a 1/10 scale 4S basher, which I have had for ages now, but I'm just not allowed to release the video. I think quite a few channels actually have that new 4S basher, but we've been told we can post that video at some point in July, and we're still waiting for news on that. But all I can say is that thing is going to be a game changer when it comes to 1/10 scale trucks. I just wish I could show you the footage. Yeah, anyone who's got a proper crawler course at home, you're going to love something like this because it's got loads of power, looks good and handles really well. It has everything you'd want from a small trail truck or crawler. For me, I just love how quiet the electronics are compared to a brush system. You know, you can very much hear a brush system, but with this, it is completely silent. I remember testing the old version at a very similar location, and I just found it to be incredibly bouncy with the included shocks. But with this, now that they've been upgraded, it definitely feels different, handles nicer. Yeah, I think they've done really well with the upgrades on this. And I can definitely say I think it's worth spending the extra to get a slightly better truck compared to the other one. Yeah, great work. Really, really cool. So I think you know I love the K5 Blazer, but we do need to move on and we do need to focus on the Power Wagon now. Now, this thing is just like the K5 Blazer when it comes to all the upgrades. And again, I have featured this on my channel before, but I did feature the brushed version. And again, I really like that, but I think this one is going to perform better today now that it has the proper shocks and everything else. So let's take a closer look under that body first, and then of course we'll get back to the running footage. Now this one's slightly different compared to the K5 Blazer because the flatbed stays intact and just the front half of the body comes off, exposing all of the electronics. Everything's exactly the same under here, just like with the K5 Blazer. You've got the 2 to 3S ready ESC, the tiny little outrunner brushless motor. Again, you've got the little servo which controls the 2-speed transmission. So under the Power Wagon, everything is pretty much exactly the same as the previous one. We've got the metal links, we've got the plastic drive shafts. On the front, we've got the metal steering links. Of course, the steering feels exactly the same on this one because again, it is identical. Let's see what the wheel speed is like in low gear and high gear. Yeah, these brushless cars have got much more power compared to the brushed versions. And remember, these can run 3S, and on 3S, I think these things would be crazy. So once again, let's do a headlight test. We need to hold down the channel 4 button on the transmitter. And there we go, there we have the headlights. And again, just like with the previous one, the headlights do have a very nice yellow tint to them, which I think does add to the scale realism on these trucks. Yeah, I really like that. So we've already tested the K5 Blazer. I now need to give this a little run off-road. Let's head out and let's see how it performs. So you know I like the K5 Blazer, but what about this one? What about the Power Wagon? Well, let's give it a go. Again, let's do a low speed test first. And then let's switch up to high speed. Let me know in the comments section which one out of these two trucks you prefer. Do you prefer this, the Power Wagon, or do you prefer the K5 Blazer? I know I've already said it, but I do like the upgrades FMS has made on these two trucks. I think they were needed because they were good trucks before, but they certainly weren't perfect. And I think the real question is this thing close to perfect now? Well, considering its size, I would say it's very close to perfect. FMS know exactly how to put together a mini trail truck or crawler these days. They definitely know what they're doing. And just like with the other one, once again, they have done a fantastic job with this Power Wagon. Yeah, this does seem to handle the dirt really nicely. It does have a nice amount of power. And you know, that's something I've been saying for so long. I really want crawlers to be aimed at, you know, people who like to go fast a little bit and people who obviously want to do some proper crawling. You know, why can't you have the best of both worlds? And with something like this, well, obviously you can go a little bit fast. And of course, when you need to, you can gear down and do some proper crawling. Yeah, you know, I know I've said it loads of times, but it's just a very impressive little truck and priced, you know, very well as well. So there we go then, guys, two excellent new additions to the FMS lineup. This thing is fantastic, so is this. If you're looking to buy one of these two trucks and you don't know which one to go for, well, that's an incredibly difficult decision because they're both really, really cool. So let me know in the comments section what you make of both of these trucks. I think my favorite one is the K5 Blazer, but you may prefer the Power Wagon. Let me know in the comments section down below. Cheers for watching. See you on the next one. Take care. If you want to see more from FMS here on my channel, click one of these videos now.